people might just think I'm crazy or losing grip on reality at this point. But I'm sincerely convinced what I'm experiencing is not that. I know not many have an open mind like I do. Heck, I think I might be the only one able to even see or hear these things. Not to mention that one being named Elliot. I wish I could say he was a good being, but that's the opposite. He's purely evil and wishes to do only harm to me. Why he chose me? It's unclear, but he seems to enjoy tormenting me as long as I'm here. In fact, I even got help in medicine. It keeps him quiet. However, this doesn't alleviate my paranoia that he'll come back and torture me again. Who is Elliot, you may ask? I can't explain him simply, but he's definitely got a silver tongue and he looks a lot like a humanoid wolf thing. I wonder if other people have seen and heard him too. His voice is absolutely menacing. It only gives his appearance more of a frightening feel to it. I can relive my story. I don't want you to relive through the torture he subjected me to, but for you all and your sakes, I will inform you. Please don't think of me as crazy for this, okay? To start off, I never had anything like this even half a year ago. Actually, according to now, it would have been maybe a year ago. But, anyways, it was relatively normal, and I was doing my work and all as usual. I should have paid better attention when I was beginning to change, honestly. It was so subtle at first, though. I could have never imagined myself to be subjected to this sort of thing. It began with the bits of shadow people lingering around, only to go away when I tried to see them. It wasn't often and occurred occasionally, along with the whispering or yelling of my name, despite no one saying anything. I brushed it all off as my imagination, or I'm just stressed, because I had bad deals of anxiety during this time. This was only the beginning, though. As time progressed, I had very little occur for a good 4 or so months. It wasn't until 5 months ago that things began to take a major turn. At first I was just super anxious and moody. I couldn't bring it in myself to keep myself calmed down. But I would easily fool people into thinking I was okay. Then I began mishearing things, which was distressing enough. I even thought one of the machines at work was some sort of demon attempting to talk to me. It sounded horribly malicious. Not even a week later, I heard a voice in my head telling me to grab a box cutter from in my closet and use it on my skin. I didn't pay much attention to this, being it could have just been a passing thought that sounded like a possessed identity of its own. That's what I thought anyways. Just when I began ignoring the voice, it rose up the next day, insisting I hurt myself and to cut myself open. The voice was inside my head. It reminded me sort of like if you turned on an intercom system, but the quality was a lot like listening to music via headphones. The urges he insisted for me were absolutely strong and hard to ignore, making me distressed at work. I did of course get work finished without the fear of doing something stupid. Days passed and things got worse. It wasn't very long before it did, maybe about a week. I would be at home and his voice, he did name himself Elliot, had begun to insist more and more, his silver tongue convincing me it was a good idea. He kept repeating this phrase, "Just do it already, purchase it. Do it. He sounded so excited for me to hurt myself, but why would something like this want its own host to do damage? Wouldn't that leave it without a body to inhabit? I honestly began to think this was some sort of evil force possessing my mind. It burrowed its way into my mind, or so I was sure. Over a course of 3 months, it was getting pretty bad. My friends online were noticing something was wrong, and I was slowly losing myself to the evil hands of this demonic being. He kept telling me terrible things to do to myself. I was sure he was following me everywhere, yet he was invisible. I didn't know what to do at this time. I knew I needed help pretty badly, or else he might make me do something so horrible, damage would be irreversible. I wanted to scream at him to shut up so many times, his taunting words drilling my mind with his metaphorical nails. Why couldn't someone have just beaten me to death just to quiet him down? Then, the worst things began. He was making me absolutely afraid of the dark. He told me that shadows are where he hides, that he would pay me a visit soon. But I think he sent his friends out for me to begin with. I was terrified now. I would see shadow people inhabiting the corner of my field of vision, wanting to spy on me and hurt me. I knew they were watching me, and I couldn't do anything about this. Why does he want to cause me so much pain and fear? I didn't have an answer for that. I assume he was just finding it really humorous to give me stress to the degree that real life was slipping, as well as making things too hard for me. Work was becoming challenging with all the shit going on. I didn't think I'd be here for much longer at the rate it was going. I actually began having mental visions or imagery of him, a tall, lanky, skinny, and black shadowy figure in the shape of a wolf. But it had clawed toes and hands. It had a mouth with a silver tongue and sharp teeth, eyes as yellow as the moon. He had to be at least 7 feet tall. He would be seen in my head, following me from behind when I needed to go somewhere. It was scary as fuck all with that. I felt so on edge from just that alone. I'm sure he was putting those images in my head just to fuck with me. His evil doing was getting so bad, I listened to my gut at last. It told me to get help right now. So, with some reluctance, I finally told my sister everything, and after being helped at the hospital, I never heard nor saw Elliot again, even though it's been almost 2 months. I feel like this battle is far from over. What if he comes back? He's a malevolent being after all. I'm sure even with medication, he exists, and his existence is solely to cause pain. If anyone ever has experiences with him, do not listen to him. He may be convincing, but that's what he wants you to think, that you're powerless. Don't feed the beast, he only gets stronger. To my misfortune, after I wrote this down, he came back, and I'm keeping him at bay again with new medication. He was feeding my anxiety again and convincing me to hurt myself, which I nearly fell victim to and had indeed done a little damage, but not exactly as he wanted. This seemed to satisfy him for a temporary time, but his harassment was driving me downhill to insanity once again. How could I deal with this bullshit again? His menacing words, they were wreaking havoc on my mind and sending me into a spiral. This was probably the last straw when he inserted an image of him sitting from behind me. His sharp yellow teeth were breaking into my skull from the back and taking out chunks of my brain as if it was ground meat. Elliot had spoke in his mocking tone of voice again. He told me this.
This is the reason you're suffering. I'm causing it.
He seemed to be amused by this, and it was so effective I could feel the pain around my head afterward. I couldn't take this bullying anymore. I needed help fast, and I definitely did my best to work with some new plan out. Talking to certain people and reasoning out that maybe it's time to try another medicine to see if it takes away his torment. That's all I've accomplished so far, and indeed, this new medication is working for me, so let's hope that's the end of him. But I still think there's going to be way too much battles after this. It won't be easy. But again, listen to me. Please do not listen to him if he ever bothers you. That's what he wants you to think. He thinks that you're easy prey for his words. So please, don't fall for him. Besides, you have more power over him anyways. Just rationalize and do not be afraid. He can't do anything to you. As hard as it is for me to say that, but anyways, please take my words and use them.